And 3, 2. Yes, we are live with podcaster Kathleen Gage. What are you making today?
Well, only today, I am making chili. It's an award-winning chili, and I am excited. I got so excited that I actually started it already in my crock pot. You know, I couldn't help myself. I was just like, I have to start this. But in my crock pot, I actually have a green pepper, bell pepper, but it's diced up. It's like you'll see little tiny pieces. I don't put the whole thing in. That would be kind of ridiculous. Baked bell pepper. I've got a red bell pepper. I've got a red onion. I've got some diced tomatoes that actually, they did not come out of my garden, even though I do have a garden, but those were canned. And I will tell you, I didn't like to cook before I became vegan. I did not like to cook, but now I love to cook. And what I love most is I know that I'm being compassionate to animals, but that's a whole different conversation. Another ingredient that we're going to put in is we're going to put in green peppers. These are mild green peppers. Now, depending on your level of tolerance with spices, you can go super hot or you can go mild. My mother-in-law happens to be kind of sensitive to hot things. So, well, she's sensitive to me. I'm kind of hot, but that's a whole different story. But here we go. So we put that in. Okay.
Oh my goodness. And you are making this Mama's, what is it? Magnificent, Mighty, Meatless, award-winning.
Comes out of this book here, and it's Mama's Mighty Meatless Award-Winning Chili by Felicia Slattery. She's a dear friend. She's a colleague. She's a joint venture. She's amazing. So I tell you, the only cookbook I use right now is her cookbook. It's pretty amazing. But you also put in some black beans. So let me show you that. And I prepared all this ahead of time because otherwise my kitchen would be a complete disaster. So you, and what I love about crock pots is that the mess happens ahead of time. So if you're going to have company, this is kind of my go-to meal for when I have company. And they say, oh, we're going to bring the T-bone steaks. And I said, oh, no, you're not. Those don't come into my house. I literally will not. You know, it's like, this is not happening. And so I said, let me cook for you. And whenever we have company family that stays for a few days, I said, do me a favor and just be open-minded to what I'm going to cook. This is usually the first meal I cook, and people are blown away. They're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Next, we put in pinto beans, but I have to take a little bit of the pinto beans. Let me get my blender here. And you take part of the pinto beans and you blend them up with some, and you put the rest in the container, the crock pot. But I do a little bit of vegetable broth. You get organic, oh, that's chicken broth. We can't, how did I get that? Excuse me, I got to get my vegetable broth. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got chicken broth. Chickens, please forgive me. I cannot believe I did that. Okay.
Oh my goodness, yes. And you know what? Veggie broth all the way. Hey, we just want to say welcome everybody to Lunch Break Live. We're so excited to have you here. And are we going to get a blender dance? Because let me tell you something, Kathleen, when we put blenders on in the show, just feel free to move along with it. And everybody out there, get your dancing boots on. Let's go. Blender dance. Woo!
That's my TikTok video right there, right there. That one is going to be a viral video, but you blend it up, you put it in, then you put about another cup and a half of vegetable. Please do not use the chicken. I cannot believe I brought, oh, I need to ask forgiveness of those chickens, and I mean that sincerely. Okay, so we've got all that going on, and then we've got kidney beans, which are amazing. Okay, this is a real simple recipe. As you can see, it's a simple recipe, and I did not get my spoon, so I'm going off screen for just a second to get a big spoon. And
yes.
You kind of,
okay, now listen, Kathleen, we've got so many people watching. They're so excited, and I got to ask this quick question. Adam wants to know, have you ever used an Instapot, and can you make this chili in an Instant Pot?
You know, funny you should ask. No, I have not. But I do know that Felicia just came out with another book. It sounds like I'm her agent or something, and I'm not. But she just came out with another book that is actually for Instapots. I've not used an Instapot. I kind of have an aversion to them. I don't know why, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I love my crock pot. Maybe it's my age. You know, I'm kind of the generation that crock pots are pretty cool. Let me tell you, and thank you, Adam, for that question, but I would imagine so, definitely. You want to put oregano in it. I've got the oregano spice. I've got cumin. This is what really makes chili chili. Okay, then we've got hot chili powder. And depending, again, on your tolerance level around spices would determine how much. It calls for 5 teaspoons. And I actually put 2, and it might even be tablespoons, but I've got the directions here. Don't have my glasses on. Vanity is preventing me from putting my glasses on right now. Garlic powder. Okay, now what I did is I combined all of those together so that I could just pour it in. Boom, boom, right there. I mix it in. Now, here's the real kicker. The real kicker is the garlic. I love garlic. And I will tell you, I don't spare on garlic. Okay? I'm going to put 3 heaping tablespoons of garlic in here. And honestly, that's it. And then you let it cook for about 6 hours. I do about 4 on high, and then I do about 2 on low, and it makes a perfect dinner. So if you're having company, this is the perfect meal. What you do is you start it in the morning, you clean up the mess, so they go, my gosh, you're such a clean cook. And it's like, if only you could see. But that's kind of the recipe, and I will take pictures later when it's all done. But I can tell you, I'm certainly going to please my mother-in-law because this is one of her favorite meals. So with that, that's the meal.
Wow, this is so exciting. And I got a couple of comments here. Kathleen wants to know, is it spicy? She must have missed your comment about making it your own, but go ahead, please. Will you show us which spices you used?
I am using chili powder, and this is hot chili powder. So I use very little because my mother-in-law seriously cannot tolerate a lot of spice. She's 86 years old, and I better not say 87 or she'll be upset. I use oregano. I use garlic powder, and I use ground cumin. Now, let me tell you a secret for saving money because, oh, one thing I forgot, vegan, make sure it's vegan Worcestershire sauce. You want to put about 2 tablespoons worth, so I just kind of eyeball it. And what I have found is recipes are great to a point, but I actually take a recipe and then I add my own ingredients to it or my own level of measurement to it. And the Worcestershire sauce adds to it, but please make sure that you get the vegan brand. This is vegan brand Worcestershire sauce. And I am 100% vegan. I consume no animal or dairy products whatsoever. And the further I go into this, and Paige, you and I were talking about this earlier, that the further we go into being vegans, the more we are aware of how many things actually have animal products in it. And it's just a level of awareness. But I will tell you, when you serve this to your company, they will be amazed.
All righty. Oh my gosh. Now, real quickly, tell us what went into that pot. And I want to ask you about your podcast because I know a lot of people are wondering, and you're also an author and a public speaker. So tell us what went into that crock pot because we have lots of people joining us, still joining us. Take it away, Kathleen.
Yeah, and I want lots of comments. I want you to leave a review for this show and go see Jane Unchained. She's amazing. I've had her on my podcast show, but the number one ingredient that goes into my meals, and I always say that to everybody who eats at my home, I say, what do you think the number one ingredient is that makes this so delicious? And they go, well, it's probably the red beans, it's probably the black beans, it's probably the pinto beans. I said, oh no, it's love. And I mean that sincerely. It's the ingredient of love. But I put in tomatoes. They are diced tomatoes with Italian herbs. And you may want to look for organic if, you know, I understand budget can be a consideration. So if you can have your own garden, that's one thing. Or buy in bulk, that is another thing. We put black beans in there. So black beans went into it. We put pinto beans into it. We put kidney beans into it. Definitely a lot of garlic. I put a lot of garlic in there. Vegan Worcestershire sauce. You can get this at probably Market of Choice, Natural Grocers, any more natural grocery store. We have a red bell pepper. We have a green bell pepper. We have diced peppers, little chili peppers, though I get the mild, okay? Then I have a red onion, and then all my spices. And of course, really important, vegetable, fat-free, what is this? Vegetable broth. That's what it is. Okay. If I didn't know what
will you show us Felicia's cookbook real up close and personal? I want to see that because Felicia's going to be on our show in the future. Look at this, everybody. Plant-based slow cooker cookbook. Yum. That looks delicious. And you say you make a lot of these recipes. Is that right?
I do. And my favorite recipe, quite seriously, is on page 90. It's Mama's. There it is right there. Mama's chili. Award-winning chili. And, you know, it's interesting because Felicia, she went plant-based, I think it's been about 2 years now. And she's a wonderful chef. And I actually had a lot of conversations with her about the way that animals are processed in food. And she thought, well, I'm going to try it. And she started feeling better and better and better. Then she ends up, she's a rock star. She ends up writing a cookbook. Then the publisher loved it so much, she wrote another cookbook. And that's the way it is in the world of plant-based and veganism, is that we don't have to force our lifestyle on anybody. It's really about attraction. When people see the energy that we have, the fact that we might be dropping some weight that we didn't want, the fact that we have more clarity of mind, and in these times of uncertainty, you got to do everything you can to be really healthy and keep your immune system strong. And I will tell you, this kind of food will do it.
Yes, and the number one ingredient is, you heard it here from Kathleen Gage, LOVE. Kathleen, I just love that you're growing your own. You are bringing visibility through your podcast. Tell everybody how they can find you.
Well, thank you so much for asking. They can find me. My main site is veganvisibility.com. That's veganvisibility.com. And if you go to Apple Podcast, you'll see Plant-Based Eating for Health podcast show, and you'll see Vegan Visibility podcast show.
There you go, everybody. You heard it here, veganvisibility.com. Kathleen Gage, thank you so much. Ooh, Mama's Mighty Meatless Award-winning chili recipe. I hope Felicia's okay with this. Maybe you add one more thing in and we'll call it your own, because we like to bring this recipe and a story about you over with some photos to our website. We have thousands of printable recipes over there, and we're very excited to bring this one as well. So I don't know, do you want to add a little something else to it to make it to your own? And we'll give a nod back.
Well, you know, I added the ingredient of love. What more could I add? That's my special. So it's right there. The ingredient.
It's right there.
We did take something out of her. She had buckwheat or something is what it's called. And it's kind of a plant-based meat substitute. And I actually eliminated that because I just like the beans. So I did an elimination. It's not the elimination diet. It's the elimination menu, where I took a couple of ingredients away and I added the ingredient of love.
I absolutely love this. Thank you, Kathleen, for your time. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We have Tina and Tom and Debbie, and oh my goodness, and we're going to go back in there and answer all your questions. We got Laura. We've got lots of questions in here. We're just going to move on though, because you got a full day ahead of you. I know you all out there. We appreciate you. We got Dana watching. Oh my goodness, I can't even keep up. Adam, thanks everybody for staying tuned and watching with us today. We appreciate you, Christy and Tom and Laura, like I said. And wow, Kathleen, we'll see you next time. Yeah?
You will. Thank you so much.